Hello my friends, today we're going to be going out to the lands and exploring different parts of the lands. We're going to be excavating and learning knowledge and using that knowledge to gain some help from some tribes and some gadgets. Today we're taking a look at Recall. Now this is done by the same design team that brought us Revive, which was my strategy game of the year when it came out. This has a lot of similarities to Revive, but it is a different game at the same time. Let me show you quickly how it works and I'll see you on the other side for my final thoughts. Before I get to the moment you've been waiting for, I wanted to tell you about the Sell Trade program at Noble Knight Games. Now as gamers, we all have games that are cluttering our shelves that we either don't have the right group for or might even not like it. Well, now you can turn those unappreciated games into cash or store credit. Noble Knight Games buys thousands of games and gaming products. It's easy to send them a list of the games that you'd like to sell or trade. Now they'll send you a quote and even pay for the shipping of the games. Get treated and paid like royalty while you sit back and collect cash or store credit. To get started, click the link in the description of this video or in that upper right corner there, and then click the Sell Trade button. In Recall, you're trying to have the most culture points. Most of this you'll get at the end of the game, but some points you'll be getting during the game, unlocking better actions for yourself. At the beginning of the game, you're going to be selecting or drafting a tribe. Now this tribe is going to be special and unique to you, gives you an asymmetric start and an ability that will help you out throughout the game. You'll also get to select or draft a gadget, which is also an asymmetric ability that only you will have that you can use throughout the game to help you in your cause. At the beginning of the game, you get 2 objective cards. They're worth a lot of points, 15, so you're trying to figure out throughout the game which one you're going to go for, because about 3/4 of the way through, you'll have to discard one of these, getting the abilities on the bottom of that card. Also throughout the game, you're going to be deciding which of 2 different paths you're going to go for strategy-wise and for points. And these are randomly placed at the beginning of the game, and you're going to be trying to figure out which one. Now you'll score all of these, but half of them that you choose at certain points during the game, you'll actually score a lot more for, so it hones in your strategy. Over the course of the game, you're going to be exploring the land with all these different tiles, and you're going to be moving around your followers and adding followers, and you're going to be looking at and exploring new lands. You're going to be trying to get to different spots, and you're going to build different buildings there to give you different endgame points, hopefully, but also some abilities and bonuses. Now each player has their own player board that they're managing different resources and their tribe and gadgets and knowledge and buildings and actions and all things like that. Generally speaking, on your turn, you're going to take one of your key cards, slide it in, and activate that action. And many times you'll be building buildings which go into different specific types of tiles. And when you build things like the vaults, they give you immediate rewards. If you build things in the different types of aspects of these workshops, they actually will allow you to gain new keys. Now by getting new keys, these are better upgraded versions of the starter ones, and they have actions on the bottom. So now when you place these in, not only do you get the top action on your board, you get the bottom action here, and these have all different abilities on them, and they're worth points at the end of the game, and there's 3 different levels of these. And depending on which terrain you build on will depend on which key card you get. You'll also be building monuments, which can gain you more and more points the more of them that you build, but you also get to decide what tile it's built on and which bonuses you get from them. But you also might be excavating knowledge, and by doing this, you'll be moving up one of the 3 different tracks depending on the color of knowledge that you gained. And as you move up this track, you're going to be seeing new tribes that are going to uncover and new gadgets, and you'll be able to actually use these and power these as well the higher you move up, and these are worth more points at the end of the game the higher you move up them as well. And the knowledge that you've gained throughout the game is used to activate all these special abilities on tribes and gadgets, and even tribes over there on the board that I just showed you that you're able to unlock yourself as well. But eventually you'll run out of keys, or you may want to recall all of the keys that you had inserted into the bottom below here, and then you'll get to recall. For each key, you'll get to have any type of reward of anything that you've unlocked, and so you're building up an engine of different types of things that you're gaining from those keys through recall. So the game is 13 turns long, and you're, again, picking your objective about 3/4 of the way through, but picking your strategic paths at different spots as well. Like in path 1, am I going to pick points from keys or points from monuments? Well, monuments, of course. Or path 2, points from knowledge or points from relic cubes that you'll be picking up from the board. Or path 3, those ability stones you get from excavating, or vaults. And as you can see, these are randomized each game, so when you pick certain things, change each game. And whoever has the most culture points at the end of the game is the winner. Before I get to the moment you've been waiting for, I wanted to let you know that Game Toppers is giving 15% off premium game mats and accessories specifically to my US and Canada audience using code GameBoyGeek15 off for a limited time only. Hear more about this at the end of my final thoughts. Okay, first of all, this is not Revive. However, I was interested in this game because I loved Revive, and I still love Revive, and Revive was my strategy game of the year it came out. And I love that game. It's fantastic. It's one of the best sort of medium weight Euros that I've played in recent years, still to this day. And it's the same design team. And even though this is, I don't even know if you could call this, maybe you could call it a spiritual successor to Revive, because there are a lot of similarities of things like the exploration and the big hex tiles, and you go off and you're moving around and you're building things and you're doing this and you're comboing things together and you're doing this. You got multi-use things and you got bonuses triggering. You got, like, there's a lot of design choices that are very similar to Revive, but at the same time, it's also a very different game. Let me tell you what I liked about this game. The exploration in this is really good. I like that. You have to worry about like range of distance of how far I am from something like in Revive and stuff. If you're next to something, you can explore it and things like that. I like that person gets to decide the orientation of the tile. It's hugely important because whoever goes there, is going to decide the thing that they want to get to build possibly or excavate. They're going to put it as close to them as possible. Maybe forcing volcanoes and water to be next to where other people are. There's no other good choice. Great, cool little aspects of interaction there. And it's cool because you don't know what's going to be there. Now, you will know that there's monuments there. So the back of the tiles will show you that. But the exploration is fun in this game. It's exciting. It's going to be different every game. I like the abstract movement of like trying to figure out what's the best way to get to the hex of interest. That's fun too. The upgrading the action boxes is fun, but it's a thing where most of the points you get at this game are at the end, but you are getting some point. There are ways to get points during the game. That's important because as you do that, you're getting those upgraded action boxes that you get to then decide which side do I want. And it's just interesting because sometimes like, hey, one of them's like, hey, you can move over water and do this other thing. The other's like, hey, you can move into water and then split up your followers up to different hexes. Like, which one do I want? Like, stuff like that. So I like that they give you two choices for the upgrades. I like that the upgrades, the way the game is, the rules are laid out, that you get, these are randomly assigned to certain score portions at the beginning of the game, but there is a variant in the game where you can actually like, you just keep one of each, and then when you get to the first spot, you pick whatever action, like whatever upgrade you want. So that's an option as well. I kind of like having the randomness because it does make you change sort of your strategy a little bit. I like getting the new keys. The new keys are awesome because your starting keys don't do anything. But once you start getting the yellows and the greens and the gray keys, it's awesome because then it almost now feels more Revive-ish, right? With Revive, you're taking multi-use cards. You're either like slotting into the top or sliding into the bottom. A lot of times getting resources, a lot of times getting bonuses if it was a certain color. Like in this, same type of thing where like now that you have a better key, you're sliding it in and you're getting a bonus with a specific action, sometimes an upgraded action, right? And so that sounds great too. I like that you're gaining knowledge for more tribes and gadgets. So, and I like that like as you're excavating, if you're the first one to excavate there, it doesn't cost as much, but you're also not moving as much through the knowledge. But when it's the last thing that's been excavated, like you're the deepest into that site, well, you've gained more knowledge of what was down there because there was more things buried that deep down and stuff, and you're moving higher, but it costs. So a lot of times like, oh, I need to go up just 2 more in this track. Okay, well, is there a spot that has 3 things because it's going to cost me less and I can still go up 2? Or sometimes like, I got to move up 4. Okay, well, is there one that has just one of the one that you're, like there's a lot of thinking of that going on, which is kind of fun. I like that there's different amounts of turns before the recall actions. Because sometimes you're going to recall now, sometimes you're going to wait till you're out of stuff to recall. Sometimes you need things from your recall to pull. And one last thing about the tribe thing that I was mentioning just before is being able to unlock those tribes by doing the excavation and being able to move those tracks and get new gadgets and get new things, and it's just cool. Now you don't just have one tribe's abilities you can use all the other ones. Really fun. So yeah, and now back to the recalling. It's very clever because when you recall, you're getting all the stuff, like one thing that you've unlocked for each of the things, each of the keys that you've pulled off. And that's interesting because the longer you wait, the more stuff you're going to get. And as you're building things, you're building up more options of things to get. right? So like, all the vaults give you all the followers. If you need a ton of followers, then, you're going to get some vaults, different things like that. The monuments get you points and stuff. So the other ones get you like a bunch of resources. And so I like that the recalling changes depending on your strategy, like the amount of keys that you're going to get and stuff like that. I love the resource flexibility in this. In Revive, there was like 3 resources, and there was a wild resource and stuff like that. And in this, I love that there's just 1 resource, right? There's 3 levels of that resource, but the flexibility of trading down. So it's like a lot of times you're upgrading that resource, but a lot of times like, I got a purple. This one, I need a red. Okay, well, I can turn it down to get a red and a white, right? So now I can spend that red, and now I still have a white, right? And then I might upgrade that to another red later. The resource flexibility made it, I don't like games where like resources feel so tight that like you don't feel like you can do anything. This game, I never felt restrictive. There may have been some turns where I was like, man, you know what? I got to recall anyways. Let me just recall. I'll get a bunch of resources. I'll have a bunch of big turns in a row. Like I never felt stuck in this game. And I think a lot of that is because there's only 1 resource and you just trade up or down with different abilities. Like trading down is for free, but like a lot of abilities you have allow you to trade up. And it really made the resources not overabundant, but not tight enough to make it like not fun for me. The replayability in this game is awesome. You got the random tiles that place randomly every time. You've got the objective cards, the tribes, the gadgets, there's just so much going on. All the different bonus chips, all the different upgrade. There's so much replayability, much like a Revive. I love that. The game arc feels great. I mean, when I first played this for the first time, I was like, wait a minute. We only get 13 turns? Like, really? Like 13 turns, that's it? How am I going to get anything done? Like your first turn, you're like, okay, I'm going to move, I'm going to build. Or I'm going to move, I'm going to excavate. Okay, big deal. I'm going to do something else, I'm going to recall, right? And the whole turn is recall. You've done 3 turns, you may have done 2 things. And you're like, how is this going to work? But it gave me a feeling of like the Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is one of those games where it also doesn't have a whole lot of turns in the game. And at the beginning of that game, you think the same thing. How am I going to get anything done? And by the end, you're having these humongous turns where you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. And it's going to allow me to release a key. And I'm going to use that key to do this. And I'm going to get this bonus to do that. And I'm going to put this free action on this, which is going to get me this resource. But now I'm going to go build and do this. Like, it's like you do all these things and things and things and things. And the arc of this game and what you can do towards the end is so much more than you can do at the beginning. It's just so fulfilling. If you can't tell already, I love this game. It's fantastic. Anything I didn't like about it? Yes. There are no player aids for what the objective card logos are, icons, or even the common symbols. Come on now. There should have been one side was common symbols, one side with the objective card. There should have been player aids. You shouldn't have to pass the rulebook around as soon as people are drafting the beginning stuff of the game. I don't get it. Rulebook. The rulebook had some issues. There were some older things left in there, like when you're building the workshops, it was like, hey, you must go left to right. Oh, and you must start at the bottom. Well, there is no left to right. It's just the bottom. Like weird stuff like that's in there. But for the most part, it teaches the rules okay. It teaches them fine. But it doesn't ever tell you like why you're doing something. And a rule book shouldn't just tell you the rules. It should teach you the game. And so like, okay, well, sure. I spend this follower to put out a vault. Well, what does that do for me? Well, vaults are huge. They're going to be one of the end game conditions that you can get points from. And they're going to allow you to get more followers during the recall phase to help you build that engine. Okay, makes sense. Okay, and you also get any bonus you want that you get to choose that's still left. Okay, I got it. Well, why do you want to build this? Why do you want this? Why is excavating important? Well, excavating gets you the items that allow you then to spend for all these free actions for all the tribes you're unlocking. Like, they don't really connect the dots in the rules, and it's kind of frustrating because you won't really know what you're doing to the end of the first game, and you're like, oh, I see how all this fits together. This is awesome. The rules should have put like even just 1 or 2 sentences after all the main actions and main concepts of the game is why you want to do that. Shameless plug, publishers out there. If you're looking to make your better rulebooks, I do rulebook consulting. Look me up at GameBoyGeek.com. Go to 4 publishers. I've helped a lot of people with rulebooks. Downtime. Because the arc is so great, and I mentioned at the end you're doing a lot of things, there's a lot of times in your turn where you have to think about new things. You have a plan to do something, you do this, and you get this, and you get that, and then you got to kind of think a little bit more. The downtime with the highest player count of 4 is
it's going to be noticeable to the point where I think for me this is a 2 or 3 player game, because I feel like you still get all of the interaction, all the excitement without all the extra downtime there. But that's it. Those are all the major things. This game is fantastic. It's new and shiny, right? So I want to say I like it better than Revive, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I like it at least as much as Revive, and it has the possibility to be better than Revive for me. I also have not played Revive in some time because I'm always playing new games. But I will say this is fantastic. And yes, I think if you owned Revive and you like it, you're like, oh, do I need this? It's a different game, and it makes your brain think in different ways. And yes, if you liked Revive, I think by all means you'll love this game. And I don't think it's close enough to Revive to be like, I only need to own one of these. Well, for all those reasons, this is getting my highest honor, which is a saxophone serenade, which means I'm inducting it into my gaming library, and also means I need to get rid of another strategy game that has the same box size as this. Definitely not getting rid of Revive. This has been a Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships through board games, and helping you find the next one you love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. And for a limited time only, my US and Canadian audience can get 15% off their premium game mats and accessories using the promo code GameBoyGeek15off. Also, go to GameToppersLLC.com to check out all the options or for worldwide late pledges of their recent 5.0 Kickstarter.